Welcome everybody to my top 10 best terrorist anime. My name is Misty /Connexia, and of course, terrorism is awful when it happens in real life. This is cartoon violence, so I will ask all social justice warrior to kindly exit to the right. Please make sure to keep your arms inside for the whole duration of the ride, and do not feed the ducks. Fucking bastards keep shitting in our water. Anyway, usually terrorists tends to have a point they want to get across, and whilst extremism might not be the most recommended method, it makes for some damn good entertainment on the screen. So let me tell you about the 10 best anime that makes terrorism such a captivating selection. Number 10. Guilty Crown. Guilty Crown is an anime that came out a few years ago. A story about a virus hitting Japan and crystallizes people. After the incident, a multinational military force called the GHQ took siege in Odaiba and forces their despotism. Yeah, that's a big word. Despotism mean absolute power in a cruel and oppressive way, think North Korea. Anyway, to go against this mastodon, a group of freedom fighters called the Funeral Parlor begin their resistance, and well, they're the terrorists in the story. Of course, the narration is made so you take their sides throughout the episodes. The anime is visually stunning, but the ending kinda turned into a wet firecracker. Some people didn't quite like it. Try it out, maybe you'll beat the odds.
あの子が必死に守ろうとしてた。ってあれ？それフィオナルでしょ。返して。おっぱ。え
？Number 9. Shimoneta. Alright, this one is definitely not along the lines you were expecting. The story of Shimoneta is about Japan passing an even bigger censorship law where you can't swear or mention anything remotely sexual. Of course, that causes people to repress their inner nature and makes the outbreak even more significant when it happens. So Okuma gets dragged in the world of secret fighters who are all about breaking this chastity law. They distribute obscene propaganda and try to break the mold. This is a mirthful anime with great comedy and a different take on the everyday ecchi show. It doesn't focus on bouncy boobs and the like all that much, but it does deliver a whimsical approach. Watch it if you care, you'll get what I mean.
第一に私が下ネタテロに関わっていると知れれば。ここどこ？おはようございます、奥野さん。ここは科学部。
ジャンさん、ヒルシャーです。ええ。共和国派のネストは制圧しましたが。重要参考人の姿はありません。
Number 8. Gunslinger Girl. Gunslinger Girl is the opposite of terrorism. It's actually about counter-terrorism. I'm sure you'll claim I'm pussyfooting around the topic, but you can't have one side without the other. Gunslinger Girl is a really heavy title about a group of orphan girls who are recruited from hospital bed and turn into brainwashed assassins with cybernetic enhancements. Despite having a training-focused mind on taking down targets, these teenage girls are still innocent and pure at heart. So while they murder folks, deep down they only seek approval and love from those they care about. It's a tragic drama sci-fi anime with a lot of psychological warfare involved. If you feel like you can take it on, I suggest you try it out. It's quite good, but again, it's super heavy.
何人か連れて応援に来てくれ。
わかりました。すぐ向かいます。
ヘンリエッタ。どうして暴れた？
遠すぎるよ。
Hey, young lady, what did you just throw?
Number 7. Eden of the East. Once again, an interesting take on the subject. In Eden of the East, the story begins with Akira, an amnesic naked boy in Washington, was it? Who meets a college student called Saki. When she gets entangled in his misfits, she learns that Akira is actually a terrorist who possesses quite a huge sum of money on him. Their friendship quickly brings her on a wild goose chase where people are out to get rid of them. As the story unfolds, you learn more about Akira and what started as a reprehensible life choice turned into something quite unexpected. If you like plot twists and high-paced chases, this is a show I would kindly recommend. Also, a great candidate for a bonding experience with a loved one.
タクシードライバー だったら全裸じゃなくても光んだろ。
美味しい。
うまいか、ひまり。
熱々のお味噌汁なんて久しぶりだもん。
Number 6, Mawaru Penguin Drum. Alright, this one is tricky because I'd have to cover a lot of things within merely a few lines of text, so let's see if I can give it justice. The story revolves around the Takakura family. In it, there is Himari, a girl who has a terrible health condition. It is constantly declining, and she doesn't bite for much more. One day, she makes a mysterious recovery thanks to a particular hat. That puts both of her twin brothers in jeopardy and onto a wild chase doing things that might not be all that kosher. I implore you, if you start watching this anime, stick with it all the way to the ending. It's slow and confusing at first, but it's one of those titles that have all the pieces fall in place by the end, and is nothing shy of a masterfully crafted title. Extremely underrated too, nothing but praises.
やべえ、体育で着替えた時にロッカーだ。ん？ペンギン？
オーケー、ジェントルメン。俺たちは退散する。あんたらは自由になる。ただし、俺たちを追おうとするな。その場合、約束は。
Number 5, Black Lagoon. In Black Lagoon, the story begins with Orokuro, a boring Japanese businessman who hates his life and finally gets sent on an exciting delivery mission. What was supposed to go off without a hitch actually bites him in the ass when he finds out the item he was supposed to deliver is seeked out by a bunch of mercenaries. Then, of course, the hijack operation goes awry, and it forces Orokuro to join the terrorists. Once again, this is a shining example of an anime you start without much love for the opposing group and eventually grow quite fond of. Heavy action, lots of explosion, overall 24 episodes that will keep you out of breath by simply watching them.
あいつ笑ってやがる。
悪いな。
本日付で刑事課に配属になりました。常森茜です。どうぞよろしくお願いします。悪いが、
刑事課の人手不足は深刻でね。
Number 4, Psychopaths. I wanted to include Psychopaths in this list, and while it might not be the traditional terrorism, it still affects the topic quite a lot. Let me tell you about the story. In the 22nd century, Japan has begun enforcing a certain line of thought. They also possess the technology to scan the mentality of people. When people start to lose track and go outside the parameters, which are deemed tolerable, they get executed. It's pretty much mind terrorism. Now, amidst all this is Akane, a detective girl with a strong sense of justice who simply wants to uphold her righteousness. When she's paired with other veteran detectives, she quickly realized there might be more to it than she planned. Psychopaths is an interesting psychological police sci-fi. I recommend it, but I didn't like season 2 much. Be mindful of that.
ところがな、そもそも俺たちの仕事ってのは理不尽の塊なんだ。誰が何を思い、何を願う。
デスノート。直訳で死のノート。使い方。名前を書く。
Number 3, Death Note. I bet you never really considered it as one, but Death Note is all about terrorism. The story, if you never saw it, is about Light, a prodigy student who one day finds a magic notebook that kills anyone whose name is written in it. Granted, with this almighty power, Light decides to start cleansing the world of what he considered bad guys. And well, what began as a noble act slowly turned into him covering his track to not get his identity revealed, and devolved into nothing else than blatant terrorism. So to stop him, there's a brilliant detective put on the case. It's probably the smartest anime of cat and mouse chase you will have the pleasure to see in your life. It's a one-of-a-kind deal.
Japan 最大の反ブリタニア勢力だからな。意地もあるんだろう。
俺たちへの
かもな。
喜ぶべきか悲しむべきか。
Number 2, Code Geass. I don't think anyone can dispute Code Geass being featured on this list. When the Empire of Britannia take a stronghold of Japan, it's up to Lelouch, a privileged smart kid, to take control of the freedom fighters who wish to overthrow that power. So once again, you're narrated into the terrorist side, where they explain to you their valiant cause and make the terrorists the good guys. albeit in the end it's still up to you to decide. To help him fight off the higher-ups, Lelouch is given a special skills which allow him to mind control people once. He uses this ability to make his way up the food chain. If you're into psychological anime, you'll have a blast with this one, provided you haven't seen it already.
父親ニーナと河口湖に行くの一緒に行かない？
私と手を組むつもりはないか？
ならば素顔を見せてもらおうゼロ。無礼であろう。
分かった。
And finally, number 1, Zankyou no Terror. Anyone saw this anime come in? It is the pinnacle of terrorist anime. The show is about two teenagers who set off terrorist attack one after the other. The show is high-paced, high-octane action, the visuals are stunning, and it will keep you on the edge of your seat during the whole anime, whether to see if they will pull it off or if they will get caught. Tossed in the mix is Lisa, a fellow classmate that was meant to be just a pawn in their scheme, yet it became something much more. This is a psychological thriller which definitely blurred the line between what's right and wrong. If you care a little for morality, it's at the very least a very captivating anime that will make you hold your breath all the way through.
いいや、想定外が一つ。三島リサ。見つかっちゃってさ。
So those are about 10 titles that I consider really good about terrorism. As I said in the beginning, it is a very touchy subject, but I didn't want the stigma to keep me away from covering so many great titles that mostly focus around the topic. Hopefully you can enjoy something out of the list, and if not, maybe you're looking for a lighter topic. Well, perhaps I can recommend you another top 10 I did about feel-good anime. You won't believe the hilarity you can get out of them. Maybe it'll brighten your mood instead. Thanks a lot for watching, hope you'll have a great weekend, and I'll see you again next week with more inappropriate content, I'm sure. Love ya!